I get the great pleasure of helping us transition to our next experience with the Howard Martin. No further introduction is needed. I understand as long as I say the Howard Martin, then everyone knows who I'm talking about. We spoke a lot yesterday about the disconnection with the intelligence of the natural world, or as Bruce Lipton so succinctly put it, I think I captured it, what is it with humanity that we can't get with nature's program? I've asked myself that question a lot, and I used to think that the fact that we couldn't get with it was proof that humanity was a failed experiment. That was a terrible place to be, but since learning about the transpersonal power of the human heart to reconnect us with each other, with nature's intelligence, and with the imaginal realm, I've seen humanity as one of the most important experiments in the universe, with the power to consciously co-create with nature and the imaginal through the coherence of our own hearts. And that changed everything for me. And he didn't say it yesterday, but I once heard Bruce, who I met many years ago on the HeartMath campus, say that intelligence emerges when a system connects with itself. And science has already demonstrated the centrality of the heart in creating this connected intelligence, confirming what spiritual traditions have always said about the central role of the heart. So my question is, what's the holdup? Why, as my friend says, has the modern world still not moved from causing harm to causing harmony? And that's not meant as a criticism. That would only bring more incoherence, and we have to have compassion for the fact that we're still a young species. But we also have to grow up and realize that we know everything we need to know to become a superorganism through synergistic interaction, which requires coherence. The famous Aikido master George Leonard used to say that practice is like a sail. If we don't put up our sail, the wind can be howling all around us and we won't catch any of it. Coherence is all around us. We just need to put up our sails, but this time, like for real. Because it's one thing to understand and embrace the concept of coherence intellectually, but seeing it isn't the same as being it. And I'm talking to myself here. I don't practice coherence nearly as much as I think about it or talk about it. And we can't be coherent all the time, but we can be more coherent more of the time. And each time we get more connected to the wholeness in flowing movement that is the coherence of the natural world. Maybe in another word, that is the Shakti. It doesn't matter how we get there, only that we do. And one unusual way, one of the harder ways to get there is what happened to Ed Mitchell. Hi, Cassie. Apollo 14 astronaut and sixth man to walk on the moon, who founded IONS after having his epiphany in space. Cassie and I were privileged to work with him for many years. And I think Ed's experience was a profound experience of heart coherence that caused his epiphany, where from his capsule, while gazing at Earth, he saw things in their separateness, but experienced them in their unity. And this epiphany revealed to him that unconditional love, which is one of the regenerative emotions, the most powerful regenerative emotion that can bring us into greater coherence, is the organizing principle of the entire universe. And of course, HeartMath has demonstrated that it's the organizing principle of our bodies. How far are we from scientifically discovering that it's the organizing principle of the whole universe? And are we planning to wait for scientific proof before we decide to use this organizing principle to get with the program for real? This, to me, is the profound simplicity on the other side of all the complexity that our brains, without the governing influence of the heart, are so addicted to. We don't have to save the world. We just have to get with the program. We don't need to let go of self-interest. Coherence naturally expands our definition of the self. We don't need to develop supernatural powers. Coherence naturally expands our definition of what's natural to us. And we have to be ready to believe that we're that powerful. Elizabeth Sahtouris is the person who taught me the constructive role of crisis in evolutionary biology. And it was a life-saving realization for me. And I think we're at the end of evolving through crisis. I hope. I think the reason we're at the point of collective annihilation is so we finally turn to the heart. So we finally realize the true power of the collective heart. And I don't think it's a coincidence that this is happening at the same time that we're literally taking flight as a species at the dawn of the second golden age of space exploration. We need to get with the universe's program, because as we begin to migrate into space, the stakes really couldn't be any higher. And with that, I give you the Howard Martin.
Thank you so much, Claudia. I'm going to follow that, ladies and gentlemen. That was amazing. What a beautiful heart expression that was, Claudia, and much appreciated. And I always appreciate you and all you do, and especially, you know, in a way that your relationship with us at HeartMath. And it's a pleasure to be back here with Evolutionary Leaders. To Deborah's point, it's been a while. And I was here in the beginning, in the early stages of Evolutionary Leaders, and it does feel really, really great to be back with you and to feel all of your hearts. As people like ourselves, EELs, first of all, I want to honor all of you for the work that you've done in the world. There's a very seasoned group here, I'll call it that, of people who spend a lot of time thinking about a lot of deep things and then doing the best they can to share that with the world. And so I'm honoring you for that. I think for me, I can resonate with something that Deepak was talking about, and that's moving to the next level. Where am I now in the scheme of things? I've been doing this a long time too, like 50 years. And I think for myself, and I would suggest for many others and for the world, we have to be willing now to take that next step or the next steps. And to do that, that sounds great on paper. I can make it sound inspirational, but it gets down to some pretty serious work of letting go of what we think we are, letting go of our biases, our judgments, our preferences, pushing beyond the thresholds of what we've done before, going to another level of wake up. And that can be difficult later in the game because we've done so much already. It's kind of like you really want me to get up now and do more. And I think Spirit is calling on us to do exactly that. Is to say, what's next for us? And then what's next for us collectively? For me, and I would suggest for others as well, that doesn't get figured out through logical linear intelligence alone. That's not a mind thing. It's a deeper essence-based intelligence that we need to make those type of choices and to find where we need to make the changes we need to make. And that comes straight from the heart. My life's work, as many of you know, has been an exploration of heart, an unfoldment of what we call at HeartMath heart intelligence, this magnificent, intuitive, high-speed intelligence that gives rise to the emotional qualities that we appreciate and revere the most, that comes directly from our heart. And it's that kind of intelligence that we have to have right now to embrace the change. We need to come up with new solutions to the challenges that often appear to have no solutions. We need to move beyond our own tolerance thresholds into our next level of unfoldment, and that's going to take heart. The good news is you already have it. It never goes away. It's always been there, always will be there. All that happens is sometimes we begin to live life from the neck up, caught up in the roar of ambition and survival and who we think we are and all the stuff we think we need to do. But we can return to it very quickly. And when we do, that's when the magic happens. That's when things begin to unfold. That's when we move beyond our normalcy and become the very best of who we are. It's when the hero within truly emerges, is when we make that connection with our heart and the intelligence of the heart. One more point, and then we're going to do our experiential. Claudia was talking about coherence. Deepak referred to coherence. Coherence is a term that's been around. It's been popularized in a different way, I think, in many ways by HeartMath. Scientifically, it's a state called psychophysiological coherence. And in that state, all the major body systems are synchronized to the ordered rhythmic beating pattern of the heart. And that's all the systems like digestion, respiration, immune system response, hormonal response, brain function, all that syncs up. And when we get in that state, it's really healthy. It's a high performance state where less energy is being wasted. It's a harmonious physiological state where things are working together, not in conflict. Coherence is activated by the experience of a regenerative, uplifting emotion. When you're appreciating something in life rather than complaining, your system naturally goes into a more coherent state. When you're expressing compassion for someone rather than judgment, the same thing's occurring inside your body. Taking a step further from a non-medical, non-scientific perspective, I will say this in this group. The coherent state is the platform where more of your own spirit begins to merge with your humanness. More of that true higher self, that thing that's beyond what we think we are in the personality, merges with your humanness through the coherent state, straight through your heart. And that's how we begin to manifest more of that in daily life. That's when we begin to bring what we sense in the sky down to the street. I often found an interesting term that I pondered when I was a young man about bringing heaven to earth, about creating heaven on earth. And as I observed people pursuing that, it seemed as if they wanted to go to heaven and they were forgetting about earth. I interpreted it as like, wait a minute, if there's something called heaven and it's supposed to be heaven on earth, then I need to go get it and bring it here. And I think it's through the heart and through this coherent state that we do that the very, very best. Now, we're going to do a heart meditation. And how much time do I have? 10 minutes? Deborah? 10, 15 minutes? What do I have?
Oh, yes, about 10 minutes.
Okay, we'll do a 10-minute meditation. Deborah's running the show here. What I want us to do is I want us to activate more of our own heart's intelligence so that we can carry that forward into what's next in our day, but also into our future, and use that more consciously to rewrite our future. Additionally, in this meditation, I want to use it as an act of service. We have a tremendous amount of collective intelligence and wisdom here right now. I think it's important that we use that in a way that helps lift the spirit of humanity. And so part of this meditation will be about that, not about us, but about what we can do for others and what we can do for the world. So I invite you now to close your eyes if it's comfortable for you, and to focus your attention in the area of the heart, just right in the center of your chest. If putting your hand there is helpful, go ahead and do it. And with your attention there, I'd like you to breathe naturally and normally, but a little deeper than let's say you normally would, but in a rhythm that's comfortable for you. And as you breathe this way, I want you to imagine as if your breath is flowing in and out right through the area of the heart. Gentle, slow breathing, imagining your breath is flowing in and out through the heart. Continue to breathe this way, and I'd like you to radiate a little love or care to someone or something in your life. Could be a person, could be a place, nature maybe, could be your pet. Whatever comes to you, just radiate some love and care. That helps to open the heart, warm the heart, which sets the tone for the rest of this meditation. Now, from your genuine heart, I want you to breathe the feeling of inner ease, feeling of inner ease. And then gently radiate that feeling outward, not a pushed radiation, more like a glow, to create a connection, a more solid heart-bonded connection between all of us that are participating in this gathering, whether here now or whether watching the recording in the future. So breathe that feeling of inner ease and a gentle radiation to connect us all, heart to heart. Now let's use our collective heart in the name of service to humanity. Let's radiate our collective love and compassion and our care to all on the planet who are experiencing suffering, hardship, and a lack of hope. Now, from your heart, from your spirit, from your dignity, your nobility, your honor, all those high qualities of you as a person, I'd like you to consider making a commitment to practice compassionate latitude for yourself and for each other, really, through the pressure that we're all going through in these transitional times. So from your own spirit and higher self, make a commitment to practicing more compassionate latitude. Hold your attention in the heart and try to recognize the importance right now of taking things up another level and adding more love and kindness through this co-creative process that we're in right now. Many people do sense that the heart's care has been a missing piece. Can really make a difference in how we in the world all get along with each other and thrive. So lastly, just open your heart and release your love. The love that comes from who you truly are. Okay, if you've had your eyes closed, you certainly can open them now. Well, one last thing I'll say is that, as I've moved into different stages in my life, some of the values and things that are important to me have become actually more simple instead of more complex. one belief that's become very strong in me, it's been there a long time, but it's increasingly become stronger, is that I believe the purpose of life is to love. That's why we're here. We came here for that. We came here to learn about love. It's that simple. We came here to learn about it and then to give it and to express it. And so I'll close today by first of all thanking everyone for having me and for allowing me to, to be here with all of you and to be a part of Evolutionary Leaders. And I'll just close by saying I love you. I offer my love to you. Thank you so much.